quite often business owners talk about exit, they talk about the value of their business, and they go see an accountant or whoever, and they give them a value of a business. But here's the key thing, right? Although your business may be technically worth 300,000, 3 million, 10 million, if you're still needed in the business, then you're worth that money, not the business. So they're only going to pay it to you if you stay. So the first thing you've got to do is get yourself out of the business. But there's a few other things that really impact the value of a business, and there's a few other things that you can do to increase those. And I thought I'd share a few of them. The first one is financial performance. How well financially does your business perform? How good is it at making profit? Not gross profit, net profit. What dividends can it pay out? And can it replace the person running the business? So that would be the general manager rather than you. And if it doesn't have a general manager, then how financially stable is it without you? So that's the first one. What's the potential for growth in the business? So can you prove that it's been consistently growing over the last 2, 3, 5, 10 years? If you can, then the growth potential, you can argue the point all you like, but the statistics, sorry I couldn't get the word out, says that it's not growing, therefore that doesn't really have growth potential. What about recurring revenue? How much of your money or how many of your customers are paying you something every single month? So this is recurring revenue. How often do the same customers buy from you? So that's another one to work on. There's something called the Switzerland structure, which is how much does the business rely on any one single customer, supplier, or employee? So this is where you really come into it. If it depends on you entirely, then the business isn't worth an awful lot. If you've only got one big customer, the business isn't worth an awful lot. And if you only have one supplier that could pull out at any moment, then again, the business probably isn't worth as much as you'd like. So that's something else to manage. How much of the market do you control? So it's called monopoly control, but it's how much of the market can you control? What do you do that's unique that other people don't do? It can't be customer service because everybody says that, but what is it about you that's completely unique? What is your customer satisfaction score? These days with things like reviews and Trustpilot and Google reviews, that's probably easier to measure, but essentially it's your NPS score, your net promoter score. How many of your customers would actually recommend you to other people rather than said you did a good job in that individual 1 point? What about there's a valuation T-TAR. So essentially this is about how manageable your cash flow is. So if your cash flow has massive swings in it and there's not the resources to manage that massive swing in cash flow, then your business is going to be worth less, which is one of the reasons cash flow forecasting is massively important, not only for the effective running of a business, but for the valuation of it as well. And the last one is the hub and spoke, which is how much is it dependent on you specifically as the owner, not as an employee, but as the owner. How much does it rely on you? How involved are you in the strategic day-to-day decisions? Because if it's all you and somebody else buys it, then they lose that ability, and therefore it's going to reduce the price of your business. So that's kind of how a business can be valued, and this is how you can increase the valuation of your business. And I just thought I would share it and hope that it helps. If you'd like to have a conversation about increasing the value of your business to exit, then get in touch and we can have a chat and see if I can help. That's Andy Water, making it easier to build a better business.